Okay, but like that is such an interesting concept. Every MMO is a WoW killer is crazy to me. Like genuinely the amount of people that talk about wanting a WoW killer is so funny because they get so focused on wanting a WoW killer, but yet they never stop playing WoW. Like, you can't expect to have a game be a WoW killer if you just keep playing WoW. It blows my mind. Now, I have never played WoW. I have zero interest in playing WoW. I have watched a lot of videos on WoW. And I have not spent time in the WoW community because there's a gaming pastor that I know that plays WoW and grinds dungeons pretty heftily on there. Um, and like good for him, I'm glad he can do that. But like I've had zero interest in playing WoW. I've seen it enough of the game to know that that's just not an MMO for me. I'm also a person who doesn't really like mainstream stuff.
You bring dire news. Listen well.
And so I'm not somebody who is going to want to go out of their way to do anything mainstream. The most mainstream I've ever gotten is playing FF14. And that was it's okay. Right, and that's part of the reason with Lotro why I really like it is because it's Lord of the Rings, and so that motivates me a lot more to play it more because it's a Lord of the Rings game. And whereas WoW, I'm not attached to Azeroth in any way. I don't care about Azeroth. I care about Middle Earth. And I think even WoW has kind of forgotten about Azeroth because they focus so much on we're going to create these big expansions that just are here's more dungeons, here's more raids, here's a small zone for our level cap increase, and then they move on. Like, one of the things that genuinely blows my mind the most about WoW is the fact that WoW has been around for so long, and yet it only recently, in the last year, got player housing. Like, that to me is so wild because WoW has always been this big game that people have said you're going to this brand new world. You're doing. I never finished Squeaky Doors. Brother, what? That's hilarious. I guess I'll just abandon it then. But like, you create this unique world, Azeroth, that you would look and people would be like, boom, I want in on this. This is something I am ready to invest in and I'm excited for. Azeroth, yes, this is what I want. And then they just only focused on the questing side of things. Like, MMOs to a lot of people are more than just a competitive game.
What do you need?
There are a lot of people like myself. I play MMOs because I have a game, like, I have a game that allows me to go into this massive world that I can do so much with. I can explore, I can quest, in SWOTOR, I can romance NPCs and build relationships and things like that. Like, you can build relationships with the characters in the game. Like, there's just so many options that you can do in an MMO. And to be able to have your own house is like a way to like seal that deal. It really helps to make it feel like you're genuinely able to play the game as you want and be a part of the world and be a part, like, you can be a part of the world, be a part of what's going on. And like that is just like the coolest thing about MMOs. And WoW for some reason just decided it didn't want to have player housing. Like I don't understand. And okay, I love that you bring up the cozy sim specifically because this is something that I think genuinely is what is making Lotro even better is the fact that in the newest expansion they're adding things to the housing system to make it even more of a cozy system style of game. Like you're getting more cozy sim, and I think that makes the housing system even better because it's gonna for those people who get really excited about housing and get to like have their own full communities, they get to live that out so much more and in a way that's so much more in depth. And I think that's so cool because now the housing becomes more than just we have a house that we can decorate and use as glorified storage. But now the housing becomes a way that truly lets you continue to invest in the world that you're in. And that is just so freaking cool. It makes me even happier about the fact that this system is coming into place. Lotro genuinely makes you feel like you are a part of Middle Earth. And that's what makes the game so good. They don't focus on creating all of these high-end systems and things that other MMOs do. This is, again, I got comments about this on my video on the Wolves of Mordor expansion. You know, like Lotro doesn't focus on these systems because that's not what Lotro is about. Lotro is not a it's not a dungeon crawler, it's not a endgame grinder. It is a game that is designed for people who want to be able to play Middle Earth and have their own story and build on that. And that is what they have been able to do. And that is what they are continuing to do, especially in Wolves of Mordor. They're adding to the relationship factor by allowing for players to befriend the werewolves of Mordor and be even stronger and like be able to have these relationships with them and be like they're allowing people to build on that. And I think that from that, because I know a lot of people were upset that the new expansion doesn't go into Rune. Uh, but the new expansion, like, I think what they want to do is set this up so that way in the new expansion, or when we do inevitably go into Rune, because we will. It's not a matter of if, it's a matter of when. When we do get into Rune, then we will be able to go and make the, like, if we continue to build with the survival instinct system, we can build relationships with the Easterlings that maybe didn't serve Sauron, and they can give you tools to be able to survive in the deserts of Rune better. And so because you can build those relationships, then it becomes better. And that just is so cool because it builds on the things that Tolkien did in his books. So many things in Lord of the Rings are built around the friendships and the relationships. I mean, heck, look at Legolas and Gimli. Both of them built so much better relationships and like feelings towards the other's people because they had that friendship, that relationship. And that's what they're expanding upon in Lotro. They're not making it a dungeon crawler simulator. They're not making it a way where people are just going to be spending countless of hours grinding endgame content for the hope of a drop. They're expanding upon the world. And if Wolves of Mordor goes well, and they're able to continue to build off that survival instinct system, it's only going to get better. It's only going to get better, and I have a very strong feeling that they would even think to move the survival instinct system to early game. And if they do that, then the entire experience of the game becomes completely different in a way that I think genuinely will help to set Lotro apart from other MMOs better. So, yeah, that's my rant on WoW killers and like how like the purpose of an MMORPG and how Lotro achieves that. They don't just take WoW and copy and paste it. They've created a world for you to inhabit. They've created a world for you to inhabit, not systems for you to fall victim to. Thank you for coming to my TED Talk.